They didn't like to pay taxes.
That's right. They don't like to pay taxes. That's why they don't like the king. They're mad at him, but they're also angry at who else? Josiah?
Princess.
The princess, that's right. Anybody who's part of the royal family. So the poor princess is just a sweet young girl. She's not done anything to hurt the goblins, but they are out to get her because they're very bitter creatures, those goblins. They are kind of stewing in their anger at everybody. And it's actually making them uglier and more grotesque and distorted from being ugly on the inside. So interesting start to the story. Anybody else want to share their thoughts on it? Aryanch?
I would rather say I would rather say this story should get more exciting in chapter 2.
It will. And chapter 3. Have you gotten there yet?
I know what happens there.
Ty, what are your thoughts so far? And good morning. Good to see you today.
I think they're hideous, monstrous, ugly, stinky, rat-like, ugly, terrible, smart in a bad way.
Yeah, they're pretty terrible all around. Ugly, mean. What does their appearance look like, by the way? Did you guys find that picture entertaining that shows their beard and head? Yes, Alexander?
I feel like I was going to have nightmares that night.
They're pretty crazy looking.
When it comes to monsters, I'm probably the best at it. I read so much about monsters.
And these goblins are the inspiration for a lot of other goblin-like creatures in other fantasy stories. So Alexander, describe what they look like. It looks like Aryanch is holding up that picture of those goblins, and Simhita's got it there too.
Green, long beards. They don't like to pay taxes. Yeah.
That's right. And because they don't like to pay taxes, they're angry at the princess. And what is the princess unable to do? Can anybody tell me that?
Go outside to the wall.
Alina?
Oops.
She's not allowed to go outside at night because only the gnomes, not gnomes, goblins, they go outside at night, and yeah.
Very good. And yeah, they are called gnomes in the book occasionally too.
Yeah.
It's because they come out at night. They stay underground in their subterranean cavern, but they come out at nighttime. And that's when the princess is not allowed to go outside. So we shall see what continues with this relationship between the goblins and the princess in later chapters. I hope you guys will really enjoy the story.
They're really short.
Okay. They are really short. They used to be like normal humans, but they've changed in form. They've become distorted and grotesque. Ugh. Okay. Well, we are going to read chapter 2 today. We heard more about the goblins in chapter 1, and chapter 2 is going to be more focused on Princess Irene. So I hope that you will enjoy hearing about what her life is like in the house where she lives. She's not allowed to go out at night. Okay, let's say the Pledge of Allegiance and school motto, and then we'll get started on our spelling today. Would you all join me in saying the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor. I will honor those things which are good, true, and beautiful. Respect. I will show respect to others at all times. Service. I will do good things for others without being asked. Excellence. I will strive for excellence in all things. Perseverance. I will fulfill commitments and not give up or act on discouragement. Please join me for a moment of silence. Okay, well, it's wonderful to see everybody. Let's get started on some phonogram review. Please take out your whiteboard and marker. And Saha Nasri, would you take a minute to go change into your uniform and come back for spelling review?
I don't have my uniform right now.
Oh, are they dirty?
Yeah, I'm washing them.
Okay. Do you possibly have one of the Classical Academy sweaters or jackets?
No.
No? Okay, that's fine. I understand. We want to try to wear our uniform every single day, but things like that happen sometimes. I just wanted to double check. You're good just wearing your shirts, sweetheart. Normal shirt. Okay. Let's go ahead and start on some phonogram review, beginning with the phonogram. Pull up where we're at. E-double-E always says E. E-double-E always says E. Hold it up when you're done, please. Excellent. Agree is a great example of a word using that. Emma wrote agree. One of our recent spelling words. Next, please write the phonogram R. Oh, E like Christmas tree. Please write the phonogram R. By the way, Alina, I got the beautiful present from you this morning that I assume your sister dropped off. Some beautiful Christmas plates. I love them. Did you pick them out yourself?
Well, for sure. My mom actually kind of like, helped her to see which one she would like best, and then I just said I think you would like this one, and then she said they are pretty beautiful, and then I also picked the wrapping paper.
Oh,
actually.
It was all beautiful. Thank you so much. They will go really well with the other dishes that I have. I love it.
Yeah, my mom said that you can use them for your Christmas dinner.
Yeah, it would work for anything fancy since they're so pretty and gold.
Yeah. Anyways, gold does go with everything, my mom
It does.
says.
It totally does. Thank you. That was so sweet.
You're welcome.
Next, please write the phonogram the of bird. The of bird. Harika, sweetheart, I still can't see you. Can you turn your camera on?
If I turn my camera on, my Chromebook will have low internet and everything will be glitched.
Well, I need to have the ability to see you, especially for things like phonogram review. So I want you to turn it on for now. And there may be other times in class when we can turn it off. But I have to see your board right now. Thank you. Earlier, bird. Okay, let's do one more. Last phonogram, please write ooh, you, that we do use at the end of English words. Ooh, you. That we do use at the end of English words. Okay, Harika, that is ooh, very close. We need ooh, you. Should look like this, boys and girls. And if you're ever unsure, still write what your best guess is of that phonogram, and then we can make corrections. Okay? If you did not have that before, write it now and sound it out as you write it. Ooh, you, that we do use at the end of English words. Ooh, you. Stew is what it looks like a couple of people wrote. That is a great example of a word using this phonogram. Or brew, like brewing some coffee. Nice. Good word choice, Alina. And Samhita and Aryansh were thinking the same. Stew and Tig. Who likes to have stew in the winter time? Which is like a thick soup. It's a good hearty soup, a stew. Okay, time for some spelling word review now. First spelling word to review is finally. Finally. Also, please write finality. They both have that base word final. Then we add ly to make it an adverb and the ity suffix to make it a noun. Finally, finality. Okay, for finally, this one has a double L, not a double N though. And one way to remember that is to think that I is saying its name, so it doesn't have an extra N to make it its first sound. But we do need the double L, so it's the base word final and then the ly adverb suffix. So finally, finality. Only one L in finality because we're not adding that ly suffix, we're adding a different suffix. So keep in mind the base word final before you add your suffixes to remember this one. I see a few misspellings on this because it can be a little bit tricky to remember which letters you double. In the first one, we only double the L because it's the base word final and then ly adverb suffix. So make sure you've got that double L for finally. Next, please write develop. We think to spell develop. Develop. Next, please write envelop. We think to spell envelop. Alina, I love seeing your board like that. Angling it so I can see you writing. Pretty too. That's really nice. Okay, Josiah and Sahanasri, you're close, but we have an E at the beginning. Envelop. It does sort of sound like envelope, but it's envelop. And let's turn it into envelope. What do we need to do to turn it into envelope? Envelope. Just add a silent final E. Envelope. Envelope. Okay. Next, please write. We've got, for our last review, 3 words with the K-s. Circle is the first one. Saying its second sound because it's followed by an I. Circle. Circle. Next, circumstance. The first syllable is exactly like circle. Please write circumstance. Circumstance. Should look like this. Circumstance. And last one that goes with this whole grouping is circumference, which is the area around a circle. Circumference. Circumference. Okay, that is all for our spelling review. Time for some new words, so take out your binder, please. And as we move on to some new words, let's say our crocodile poem together. The Crocodile by Lewis Carroll. How doth the little crocodile improve his shining tail and pour the waters of the Nile on every golden scale. How cheerfully he seems to grin, how neatly spread his claws, and welcomes little fishes in with gently smiling jaws. The Crocodile by Lewis Carroll. Josiah, would you like to say that poem for us? And if you get stuck at any point, I can help you out. We're going to be doing recitations by Friday of this week, and I'm going to have you film yourself just like last time, but then we'll also do some together like this. Okay, Josiah.
The crocodile Crocodile by Lewis Carroll. How doth the crocodile improve his shining tail and pour the waters of the Nile on every golden skin? How cheerfully he seems to grin, how neatly spreads his claws. And there comes little fishes in with gently smiling jaws. Crocodile by Lewis Carroll.
Wonderful job, Josiah. That was perfect. Great expression and perfect memorization. Would anybody else like to try it out before we do our spelling lesson? Okay, let's hear from Kruthi.
The Crocodile by Lewis Carroll. How doth the little crocodile improve his shining tail and pour the waters of the Nile on every golden scale? How cheerfully he seems to grin, how neatly he spreads his claws, and welcomes little fishies in with gently smiling jaws. The Crocodile by Lewis Carroll.
Excellent job, Kruthi, as well. Very fluid, moving from one line to the next. Good volume as well. You might add a little bit more expression for the next one. Is the only little change. Okay, let's hear one more from Aryansh, and then we'll start our new spelling lesson.
The Crocodile by Lewis Carroll. How doth the little crocodile improve his shining tail and pour the waters of the Nile on every golden scale? How cheerfully seems to grin, how neatly spreads his claws, and welcomes little fishies in with gently smiling jaws. The Crocodile by Lewis Carroll.
Great job, Aryansh. Excellent memorization of that. How many of you feel like you have it completely memorized already, the crocodile? Make sure you say it to your family members and act it out. Really have the tail and the smile as you're welcoming in fish into your jaws. It's a sinister smile. So please make sure that you're saying it to your family members. I'm sure that they love hearing you guys practice your poems and acting them out. So please do that if you haven't done that already. Okay, time for a new spelling lesson. We've got a shorter one today, only 3 words. I know. That's because the third word in our manual, it has it as 2 different words, even though it's the same spelling. So we're just going to write it once. We'll get to that in just a minute, though. Okay, our first word is major. What do you say, major? Major means big or grand or important. Can anybody use the word major in a sentence for me? This one is very common in 3rd grade language and in books that you read. Dikshita? I'll give you one example and then you can give me another. There was a major announcement made at school about the Turkey Trot fundraiser, which means a big or important announcement.
In the lawn, there was an important announcement about the major.
In the lawn? Yeah, so you could say maybe in the lawn there was a major announcement made about maybe how short you have to cut your grass.
Diamond finding.
Major is also a rank in the Army, a military rank. So you can also use it in that way. Josiah, do you have another sentence for us? Okay, we're having a hard time hearing him. Let's hear one more from Samhita, and then we'll write it.
The major league teams were the Boston Braves and the Brooklyn Dodgers.
Oh, great sentence, Samhita. Excellent use of major in that one. Major leagues. That is in contrast with minor leagues. So there's major, which is the league in baseball, which has better players. It's considered to be like people who are more senior. And then the minor league is not quite as good. Ben, what's your favorite major league team? I think we know the answer. He's the #1 fan of the Yankees, right? Okay, so major, we think to spell major. Would you sound that out with me? Major, 2 syllables. Okay, the first syllable has A saying its name in an open syllable. And the second syllable, what are the sounds? J, or, 2 sounds. Okay, please write major. Tig, do you have a question?
The only thing me and Ben disagree on is baseball.
That's the only thing. What is your favorite major league team?
The Philadelphia Phillies.
Oh, I should not be surprised since you used to live there. That makes sense.
Miss Garner.
Yes, Kruthi? Uh-huh.
My stomach hurts really bad.
Oh, okay, sweetheart, you can leave and spend as much time as you need before returning. I'm recording it, so don't worry.
Okay, bye.
Okay, major. Who is finished writing it? Major. If not, please write major right now. Major. Okay. A syllable break. J, or, major. Cross it down and rewrite if you have any spelling errors. And Sahanasri, can you tell us how we're going to mark this word? Could you unmute yourself, Sahanasri? Good. You got it. We're going to underline A saying its name. I can't hear you, even though you're unmuted, but I do see your arm showing me. What about over here, Sahanasri? Underline, and we say major. So good job, Emma, Samhita, and Alina showing me. Thinking cap on top too. Great job. Marcus, is there a connection issue on your end? To see you.
No, it's
Marcus?
Irina. It's Irina.
Oh yeah.
He is not feeling very well, so
Oh, I'm sorry.
he can still hear the class. Yes, thank you. We will catch up.
Okay, absolutely. I am recording the session and I'll put it on YouTube later. And so if he needs to even leave and just watch that later, he can. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Okay. You're welcome. Okay. That's too bad. 2 people in class feeling sick today. For the part of speech, I forgot to write that down. It is an adjective usually, but it can also be a noun, like the major in the army gave orders to his troops. Or someone could major in something in college. Say, I'm a math major in college. That's another use of the word. Okay, time for the next word. We're going to use that as the base of our next word. Majority. Would you say majority? Just like we had reality and finality, the ity suffix is spelled the same way as those, and it makes it a noun. We could use it in a sentence like this. The majority of the class feels healthy today, right? We've got a couple people feeling sick, but the majority of the class feels healthy. That means more than half. Okay, please add the suffix ity to the word major to write majority. We're just going to add that ity suffix. Pick up your pencil and write it. Majority. Same suffix as we just wrote for the word finality in review today. Okay, I am having some connection issues. Looks like you should be able to see my clipboard though. Let's begin writing it. A syllable break. J or syllable break. Same as that base word major. Now let's add the ity suffix. Sound it out with me. It syllable break. E. Major it E. Thumbs up if you spelled it the same as me. Excellent. Now we pronounce this one majority. So not major, but majority. Would you sound that out with me? Majority. Again, majority. Ben, would you help me mark this word with that pronunciation, majority? Can you unmute yourself and tell me what we're going to mark?
We're going to mark, what was it called? Or.
Good. Over here, how are we going to mark our a-ah if we say majority?
Third sound.
Oh, good guess. It's actually a thinking cap because it's an sound. Okay, like and then like you said, or we're going to underline.
Mm-hmm.
This is basic code, so no marking. But what about this one?
Majority. Fourth sound.
Good. It's the fourth sound, but we actually, this is unusual. We mark just the third vowel sound for this one. Okay. Yeah, it, I, E, and it's the third vowel sound. Now with that ity suffix, what part of speech is it?
Majority. Adjective.
It does kind of look like it would be an adjective, but the ity P suffix makes it a noun, like the majority of the class.
Got it.
So good job. Thank you for helping with that. Boys and girls, we have just one more word today. Our last word today is elaborate. Would you say elaborate? Elaborate. To elaborate means to add detail to. So if you have dinner time with your parents and they say, how was school today? And you say, fine. They could say, would you elaborate on that? Which means add some detail. Don't just say fine, add some detail. So elaborate means give extra detail to. It also can be used as an adjective, and we pronounce it a little differently when we use it as an adjective. It's the word elaborate. Like there were elaborate Christmas decorations across the entire house. Elaborate. Would you say elaborate and elaborate? Okay. We're going to be thinking of it as that first one though. Elaborate is the word. Sound it out with me. Elaborate. 4 syllables. Let's try that again. Elaborate. 4 syllables. And the first syllable, E says its name in an open syllable. Elaborate. What sounds do you hear in the second syllable? Elab. Elab. That's basic code. And the third syllable, elaborate. What do you hear? Or, the phonogram or, like in major. Finally, elaborate. What are the sounds in the last syllable? A, T. 2 sounds. A says its name because of a silent final E job 1 at the end of this word. Pick up your pencil, please, and write elaborate. Elaborate. E, syllable break. Ab, syllable break. Or, syllable break. Ate. Elaborate. For markings, not having luck with connection connection, so I can see your cameras right now. I'll just.
Miss Gardner, your screen's kind of blurry and I can't see the words a lot.
Okay. I hope you all can hear me. I'm going to have to reload the page. Boys and girls, can you hear me okay now? Okay, good. I'm sorry about that. There's been some connection issues at school today, so I hope that doesn't happen again. Okay, I don't know where it stopped the meeting, but here is the word elaborate. Please check that your spelling matches mine. Thank you guys for being so patient. Okay, for our markings, E says its name in an open syllable. Elab, basic code, no markings. Elaborate is the way we say this. Elaborate. Underline and thinking cap because it's unstressed. We say elaborate. And final syllable has a normal vowel consonant vowel pattern, making A say its name with a silent final E, job 1. Okay. That is all for spelling words. That word can be a verb, but it can also be used as an adjective, and we pronounce it differently when it's an adjective. We say elaborate. Okay, for our dictated sentence, would you write the following? The majority of the house had elaborate decorations. Let me say it again. The majority of the house had elaborate decorations. Can you say it back to me? Very good. And please write it on your own and then come up with a sentence with some of those spelling words. Rishith, did you have a question?
I forgot.
Okay. Tig, did you have a question?
Could you say the sentence one more time?
No, I must have accidentally left my hand raised.
Okay. The majority of the house had elaborate decorations. Alexander, did you have a question or something to say? Just checking in on everybody who has their hands up. Nothing for you? Okay. The majority of the house had elaborate decorations. In this sentence, elaborate is an adjective, and that's why we say elaborate instead of elaborate. Tig?
Can I share my sentence?
Yes, I'd love to hear it.
The majority of the major was running away from a chihuahua.
Are they scared of a little chihuahua?
Yes.
Dikshita, do you have a sentence for us?
I like the elaborate decoration on the tree.
Oh, great sentence. Samhita?
Please elaborate the Major League game you went to on Wednesday?
Nice sentence. Elaborate on that Major League game. And using Wednesday, one of our words from a while back.
And it is Tip Wednesday.
And today is Wednesday. Perfect. Okay, anybody else have a sentence that they created? Alina, would you like to share?
Okay. Yeah. The major elaborate contest was about the elaborate major swimming contest was about to commence, and the prize would be a trophy with big banana biscuits.
More bananas and biscuits. Oh, goodness. Your favorite words. Okay, one more from Risha.
The major man had a majority elaborate questions about unfortunate biscuit and flammable banana.
What a very silly sentence. Okay, let's take out our well-ordered language books at this time. We are going to be reviewing subject pronouns and verbs again. And I'd like to go over the answers to yesterday's pages before we do a bit more contraction work today. Hi, can you all turn to page 198? This should have been one that you did yesterday and uploaded. If you have not uploaded it yet, you can still do that on BrightThinker. And I want to go over the correct answers to the page. As you're taking your things out, this is a good opportunity to stretch. If you need to run to the restroom before we start, that's okay too, or get some water or a snack. This is a good time to do that. Okay. Let's go over page 198. I'll have a couple volunteers go through each of the parts of speech in the sentence and follow the normal order of analysis. So we find subjects, then predicates, then direct objects, then our modifiers. Tig, would you tell us the answers to sentence A?
Okay. So the subject is we, but the first word in the sentence are is the helping verb. Bringing is the predicate verb. Adjective and oldest are the adjectives. Cousins is the do, and tonight is the adverb.
Excellent. What are the and oldest modifying?
They're modifying cousins.
Excellent. Perfect, Tag. Every word correct. Great job. Okay, time for another one. Let's have Emma help with sentence B.
Okay. Where's my pen? Subject.
Miss.
What's the verb?
Along.
So along is telling us kind of where she's coming. She's coming along.
So coming.
Kind of means with me. So may she come along too? You know what the very first word is?
Adverb?
No, it's just like most interrogative sentences, going to be a helping verb. Now, a helping verb helps the verb, so it needs a predicate verb to go with it. Emma, can you think of which of these words is the predicate verb?
Come.
Excellent. Come is the predicate verb. Now, along tells us how she's coming. Kind of means like with her. Which part of speech tells us how? An adverb. Basically, Emma, this is saying coming is her action. She is coming. How is she coming? She's coming along.
Okay.
It modifies the verb. It doesn't modify the subject. And so if it modifies the verb, it's an adverb.
Okay.
Right? And two is one that I would say we should just memorize, that it is always an adverb. This word to, always, always an adverb. Now, Emma, what does an adverb modify? What will this word to modify?
The predicate verb.
Excellent, the predicate verbs. We're just going to connect it up. The words to and also mean basically the same thing. Those tell us, like the predicate verb is happening again. Or another person is coming along in this sentence. Okay, Emma, thank you for helping with that one. Could I have Alexander help with sentence C?
All right. So they is a subject.
Nice.
Watch would be the predicate verb. Watch. Game would be the do. Tomorrow would be adverb. The would be the adjective, and will would be a helping verb.
Good. And try to keep the helping verb and predicate verb together. Will.
Yeah.
Good. And we're missing one word that we have marked. Basketball. What does basketball modify?
Oh, oops. Adjective.
It's an adjective
It modifies
modifying.
the direct object.
Good. These words are right before game. They modify game.
Basketball game. That makes sense.
Yep, that does make sense. Okay, final sentence. Samhita, would you be the helper for this one?
You is the subject. Leave is the predicate verb. Boys is the do. Would is the helping verb.
Good.
Really and
Good
alone.
job for realizing that really is not a predicate verb. What is really?
An adverb.
Excellent. Look at that ly ending. It's an adverb.
Actually, I had first marked this as a predicate verb, and then when I came down to that sentence again, I was checking all around them all, and I was like, no, that's not a predicate verb. And then I changed it to leave, and then yeah.
Excellent. Boys and girls, as I say fairly often, make sure that you are reading the sentence and thinking about what's happening in it. Would you really leave the youngest two boys alone? What's happening there? You are leaving the boys alone. Leave is the action there. Really doesn't tell us what you are doing. Okay, Samhita, what about the rest of the words?
Alone is also an adverb.
Excellent.
Then the youngest and two are the adjectives.
Excellent. 3 adjectives describing the boys. Wow. Okay, good job. And then those subject pronouns. I'll just have Rishith tell me all of the subject pronouns to go in that chart.
I, you, he, she, it go in the I goes in the first person. In the second person, you, and in the third person, he, she, it. In the plural, we, you, they.
Excellent. I like that you separated out the groups that they belong in too. Great job. Okay, boys and girls, that's all for reviewing. I think these are pretty straightforward because with the contractions, there are answers on the next page. It should be she'll, they'd, I'll, we'd, he'll, and you'd. All right, let's go over a few new helping verbs now, though, and we'll take a little bit of a shorter time on this, but on page 200, we've got the helping verbs have, has, and had that we're going to make contractions of. And these are pretty simple because just like all of the other ones where we are taking out one or more letters at the beginning of the helping verb, with these, for every single one, we're just going to remove the letters HA. So you have becomes you've, he had is he'd, you have is you've. With all of these, we take out the H and the A. Okay, so let's have a little bit of time to fill in this chart. We're just going to start filling it out, and then I'm going to have you finish this as part of your independent practice today. We're going to begin by filling out each of our subject pronouns twice, just like we did yesterday, because we're going to write have, has, and I guess we won't do had, but we'll do have and has for all of these. Please fill in each of those subject pronouns twice. Oh, actually, sorry. Now I'm realizing why we're going to do it in this way. Have and has are words that will change depending on the subject pronoun. So would we say I have or I has? Have, correct. So we do I apostrophe VE. And then the second one for all of these is going to be the past tense had. And all we're going to do is add apostrophe D, I'd, which is the same as I would from yesterday. Okay, so you're going to use have or has with each of these. And then for the second one, you'll write had. Let's do the next one together as well. Who can tell me if we would say you have or you has? Which one do we use with you? Dikshita? What is it?
You've.
You've, good. You have, so we're going to write you've. And all of these are going to be apostrophe D for had. And let's just do one more together for he. Do we say he have or he has? Tig? He has or he have?
He.
Like he, would we say he has gone to the store or he have gone to the store?
Has gone to the store.
Correct. So how do we make that into a contraction? He has becomes?
He's.
Excellent.
No.
Okay.
Yes.
So boys and girls, you'll choose have or has, and then had for the past tense of all of these. For all of them, we remove the H and A and the apostrophe takes its place. Thumbs up if that makes sense. You'll finish the rest of this chart on your own. Make sure that had is the second option for each of these, and then choose have or has for the subject pronoun. Okay, that's all for well-ordered language. You're going to finish this on your own. We've got some sentences to analyze at the bottom. Lesson to practice some interrogative sentences. Some of these will not have a helping verb. Can anybody spot the one sentence that, it does have a helping verb, but it's not the first word. Does anybody spot which one? Starts with something other than a helping verb. A, B, C, or D? Who can find it? Let me give you a little bit longer to look for it. And then I'd love for Harika to tell us which one she thinks it is. Which one starts with something other than a helping verb? Harika, can you unmute yourself?
Subject.
So one of these sentences does not start with a helping verb. Which one is it? Should, do, would, or later. Which of those is not a helping verb?
Would.
No, would is a helping verb. Harika, can you sing the helping verb song? This is a good one to review as we're doing these interrogative sentences. Sing it with me. Bam, is, are, was, were, be, being, been. Everybody point to been. Have, has, had, do, does, did, may, might, must, should, could, would, shall, will, and can.
Do.
Which one is not part of that song?
Do.
Do is part of that song.
No, later.
Good, later. Later is an adverb. So just keep that in mind that sometimes the first word is not a helping verb. So don't try to go so quickly that you lose track of that. Sometimes there's one that's not a helping verb. In this case, it's the second word that's the helping verb, will. Okay, time to take out some index cards for roots today and take a moment to stand up, stretch, move around. You guys did a great job. Time for a little stretch break. Get your eyes off the computer, eyes off your books for a moment.
Miss Gardner, in
Yes?
our well-ordered language book, we have George MacDonald in the back.
Oh, thank you for pointing that out. The author of Adventures of Isabel?
No, George MacDonald, like.
Oh, I mean, he's the author of Princess and the Goblin. Where is it?
It's in the 231, page 231.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for sharing that. I don't know if I realized that he was part of it. There must be a poem by him somewhere in the book, but I don't know where it is.
And it said before there were the Chronicles of Narnia by C.S. Lewis and The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien?
Yep, you got it. There was At the Back of the North Wind. Very interesting. That was way back at chapter 2. At chapter 2. Thank you so much for pointing that out, Samhita.
Which page is chapter 2?
Starts on page 27. There is a little section from the book that's not really quoted, but it's talked about. They sort of summarize a little part of it. And yep, he did influence the Chronicles of Narnia books and the Lord of the Rings books, which are more famous than Princess and the Goblin, but Princess and the Goblin is a great one for us at this at 3rd grade level. It's a great one for that. Okay, boys and girls, for roots today, let's review the first 4 that we have for the week, starting with logos. What does logos mean? Arshad. And if you don't know, look at your cards. You should have all of them written down.
What? I couldn't hear you.
What does logos mean?
Means word study.
Excellent. Word study. Who can tell me what biology means? Josiah, could you tell me this one? You're muted. Can you unmute Josiah to tell us biology? I don't know what's going on. He was unmuted and now he is. I think there's a connection issue. Harika, tell us what biology is. Okay, boys and girls, we should be ready to unmute during this time. Harika, sweetheart, tell me biology. Or Josiah, now I can hear you. I'm so sorry, Josiah. For some reason, I can't hear you, even though I can hear some background noise. That's so strange. Can you try one more time? Okay, I'm sorry, Josiah. There's some sort of connection issue. Study of life, I can tell you at least mouthing. Very good. I think there's just a delay, but excellent job, Josiah. It's the study of life. Geology. Oh, that's bad connection. Okay, Ben, could you tell us what geology means?
The study of the world.
Excellent. Study of Earth or the world. And especially this is the study of like landforms and rocks, geology. And finally, zoology. Kruthi, do you feel well enough to help with this one?
Yeah. Study of
Okay.
animals.
Correct. Study of animals. Okay, boys and girls, 2 more cards today. Please take out 2 new index cards. We are going to do for our next card the study of the stars. Does anybody know what we are going to have as the word, which means study of the stars? Alina, do you have a guess? I know that you love space.
The study of stars. Wait, only stars?
Well, it comes from another Greek word, which means stars. Dikshita, do you have a guess?
Oh, I know astronomy.
So very good. It's not astronomy,
I'm
even
guessing
though that
that.
is the study of space.
I'm thinking starlogy, but that's like a nonsense word for me.
Okay, so it is astrology. Would you all say that?
Oh, it's close.
You were very close.
I thought it was astronomy.
So astronomy is actually more of the scientific study. Astronomy. Astrology is actually the study of kind of what we can learn from the stars.
Emoji.
And it's from ancient Greece. They had knowledge that they got from the stars, where they felt like they could understand what was going to happen in the future and understand things about people's personalities from knowing the stars. Astrology. So it's knowledge from the stars. But astronomy is the actual scientific study of space. Astrology has to do with people trying to figure out things about personality and the future, or they're trying to predict things from the stars. So it is an ancient Greek study. However, mostly it's really silly and just nonsense, in my opinion. Astronomy is the actual scientific study, which we are going to get into astronomy soon. I've got a special guest speaker who may speak for us a couple of times even. I'm excited about that. Maybe it'll be after Christmas that we start that unit. Okay, so astrology. Next is technology. Now, all of these ology words are the study of something. Technology is the study of how to improve something, because it comes from a Greek word that is an art or skill. So it's the study of how to improve an art or skill. Technology helps us to become more efficient and faster with things. Study of how to improve an art or skill. Okay. So think of, for example, music technology helps us to improve upon music by a certain musical instrument being able to play more clearly, have more sounds that it's able to make, can make things louder. It can improve upon a skill For example, in a factory, there can be machinery that really makes things faster and make you able to do a lot more than you could do just with people. So technology is improving on an art or skill. And obviously you might think mainly of like computers and phones, which definitely help us to improve like the way we study and how quickly we can get things done. Technology helps us to be really fast. Okay, so those are our two words, astrology, knowledge from the stars, and technology, study of how to improve an art or skill. Okay. Once you're done with those two, you can put your cards away and take out your orthography notebook. I'm going to write our words from today, and I'd love to hear your comments or questions for those of you. Yes, Finn? With their hands up.
Sorry, I didn't mean for it to be up.
Oh, that's okay. Aryansh, did you have a question or comment?
So can we staple our Logos words?
Actually, not yet. Usually we only have about 6 words total. But this week, there's a lot of good Logos words, and so I've got a couple more for you to do tomorrow, too.
Okay.
But tomorrow will be the last day. Okay, other questions, Kruti?
What?
Did you have a question or comment? Your hand is up.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Okay, that's fine. We are writing lesson 46 words, starting with major. Oh, Tig, I like your picture of all of the technology. Can I see that again?
We can.
Nice.
Miss Garner, can you move it up in a row to the side?
Yes, yes. Thank you.
That's better.
Okay, so let's begin with major.
Miss Garland, I also drew.
Please write major, which we think to spell major. Next word is majority. Major, it, e. So we flip the syllables that have a thinking cap because we're putting the emphasis on this syllable, majority. And in this word, we put emphasis on the first syllable, major. We have different stressed syllables. And the last word was elaborate. Elab or 8. Elab or 8. Okay, we're just going to put our words in one spot today. The word elaborate is a good example of a homograph, which is going to be on page 14. Yes. Actually, let me double check on this one. Yes, so homographs are something we have not had in our spelling lessons before, but homographs have the same spelling, but different sound and different meaning. So, like we had the word mean before, which can mean different things, but it sounds the same and it's spelled the same. The word elaborate, though, it has the exact same spelling, but we actually pronounce it different when it means something different in a sentence. We say elaborate when we use it as a verb. We say elaborate if we use it as an adjective. Okay, so that's the first of our homographs. Same spelling, different sound, and different meaning. Okay, now it is time for math at last. Please take out your math notebooks for today. And your workbooks. Today we're going to do our first lesson on multiplying with some regrouping. Okay, you guys have been doing well with multiplying without regrouping. Make sure that you are continuing to review your math facts to help you really know that well. But we're going to start finally regrouping, which is really no harder if you know the steps, just like with addition and subtraction. Okay, before we start on this though, let's take a minute again to stretch and take our eyes off the computer. Okay. Yes, Dikshita?
How many root cards are we doing this week?
It will be 8 total. So we've done 6 and we should have 2 more.
Okay, thank you. Will they be also on the quiz?
Yes, they will. Okay. Boys and girls, for math today, let's begin with adding our heading to the top of our page. Today is December the 9th. This is math lesson 7.3. Okay, we have done multiplication without regrouping.
Miss Gardner, is it lesson point what?
7.3. Like this, where we multiply the ones place, and then we multiply the tens place by the exact same number. Sorry, I may have moved a little too fast through that heading, but that's what the heading is. Okay. So remember that when we multiply without regrouping, we start with the ones just like in addition and subtraction. In this problem, we would multiply 4 times 2, which equals 8. Then we multiply 3 times 2, which equals 6. So 68. I'm writing that very light so I can erase it afterwards. So in problems like that, if we get into the hundreds place, we just repeat the steps. We multiply the ones, tens, and hundreds all by the same number at the bottom. Today, we're going to do the very beginning of multiplying with regrouping. Okay, so let's take a look at this problem that says 15 times 5. In this problem, we have 5 in the ones place, and we're thinking of this as 5 groups of 5. Now, what does 5 times 5 equal? Or what are 5 groups of 5? Ariansh?
25.
25, correct. 5 groups of 5 ones is 25 ones. Now, just like in addition, we regroup anything that is over 9, so 10 or more, gets regrouped into the next place value. So we put a 2 on top of the tens place and a 5 in the ones place. So 25. The second step is to multiply those tens. Okay? Now, we're thinking of this as 5 groups of 110, but we added on 2 extra tens. So instead of 5 times 1 equals 5, it's 5 times 1 plus 2 equals 7. So 75. Let's do an example of that in your notebook. Okay. So let's take the problem 23 times 4. 23 times 4. I'm going to use colored pencils for the different place values in this number, which you are welcome to do as well. Underlining the ones with red, tens place with green. And using blue as well for what will get regrouped. Okay, now we start with the ones place just as we have been doing for the last couple of days. Exact same as addition and subtraction. We start with the ones place, and then we regroup into the larger place value as we continue on. Who can tell me what the first step of solving this problem is? 23 times 4. Harika, what do you think we're going to do first? Looking at that ones place.
Hello, my name is Jaya, calling from Walmart.ca. May I know with whom I'm speaking with? I'm calling regarding the order. Hello?
Harika, if you can hear me, could you tell me what numbers we multiply first?
So 3 times 4 is 11.
I'm afraid 3 times 4 is not 11. Can you count by threes with me? 3, 6, 9. What's next? What's next?
12.
12, correct. This is where it gets so important to know our math facts, because if we wrote 11, then this whole problem is going to be wrong even if we have the right steps. Okay, Harika, make sure you're practicing those math facts every single day. So if our answer is 12, we're going to put the 2 from our ones here and a 1 regrouped into the tens place. Forgot I was going to write that part in blue so it stands out more. Regrouping into the tens place. Very similar to what we do in addition and subtraction, or let's say addition, not subtraction. So just like in addition, once we have 10 or more, we start to regroup into the next place value, right? So 3 times 4 equals 12. the 2 goes here, and a 1 goes into the tens place. Just like addition. Now, Tig, what is the next step?
So,
and if you're not quite sure, think of what the next step would be without regrouping.
So basically, you take the 1 that you got from 12 over to the tens, then you do 4 times 3, and that would be 9. So the answer is 92.
So that is, so you're partially correct. So it is going to be a 9, but the way that we go about it is multiplying the 2 times 4, just like before. Now 2 times 4 is 8. Then we're going to add that extra 1 to make it 9. Make sure you don't add these together before multiplying, because our step is to multiply and then add the extras, which I think, Ty, you just misspoke about that because you did get the correct answer.
Okay.
Excellent job with that. I'm going to write out the steps along the side as well, and hopefully this will help you as you're doing your work. So the first step is to multiply 3 times 4, which equals 12. 12 ones.
Do we have to write the steps?
Please do write the steps here in your notebook as well. Yes. Good question. Okay, step 1, multiply 3 times 4, which equals 12 ones. Then we regroup 12 ones equals 1 10 2 ones. Okay, so we're regrouping into the tens place now. Step 2, I'll let you catch up before I continue. I'm just writing out the steps that we just did here. Okay, now step 2 was that we multiplied 2 times 4, which equals 8. And since it's in the tens place, we'll say 8 tens. Then we add the tens. Which means we add that extra 1. Eight tens plus 1 10 equals 9 tens. So 1 10 and 2 ones is the way we write our answer there. For this one, we added the 2 times 4, which equals 8, plus the 1 equals 9. So 9 tens is what we write down for the next step. Okay, we are going to do a problem almost identical to this in your workbook now. So would you open up your workbook to page 128 now? And if this is going a little bit too fast, we will continue this tomorrow and Friday. And I also would be happy to also post an optional extra math support video, since I know some of you know multiplying with regrouping quite well, and others still need practice quite a bit. And so if this is at all confusing, I'd love to help out by creating an extra math support video, walking through more problems like this, and other things that are available online, not from me, but just from other websites or YouTube videos.
What page?
Okay, we're on page 128 in our workbook. 128. This is the first part of some workbook pages that are posted for you to do in Bright Thinker, but we're going to be doing some of them together. Okay, now in this problem, it's 16 times 5, and it walks through the steps that we just did in our notebook. Okay. It says that the first step in solving this problem is to multiply the ones, meaning the ones for this top number, by 5. Aryansh, tell us what goes in the blanks here. We're going to multiply 5 times how many ones to equal how many ones?
5 times 6 ones equals 30 ones.
Perfect. 5 times 6 ones equals 30 ones. If you don't know what 5 times 6 is, boys and girls, use some strategies that we've done before for solving multiplication problems. Skip counting, or singing those little songs. So if you don't have it memorized, you'll need to use a strategy to figure out 5 times 6 equals 30. Okay, now we have 30 ones. Can we put 30 ones right here in the ones place? No. What are we going to do, Emma? It says to regroup the ones. Can you unmute yourself to help out with this part? Okay, so we have 30 ones. That's the same as how many tens? There's that tens place. How many is in the tens place?
3.
3. 30 ones is the same as 3 tens, and how many ones?
0.
0 ones, that's right. Now, the way that looks here in this problem is that we put the 3 in the tens place and a 0 in the ones place. There's the ones place. Okay? So that's step 1. We did the ones place. Step 2 is the tens place. It's going to walk you through the steps as well. Sahanasri, could you unmute yourself to help with this next part? You know, I'll have you help for the second part of step 2. Arshab, would you help with this part? We're going to multiply the tens by 1. Arshab, could you unmute yourself?
Okay, so I couldn't hear you well.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me okay now?
Yeah. So
Okay.
what do I do? I couldn't hear you.
So Arshab, would you tell me, and boys and girls, if it helps you, I've got different colors to show the steps here. For example, this is the ones place. This is step 1 as we're multiplying just that 6 times 5. Now, Arshab, we're moving on to step 2, the tens. We're going to multiply these tens by 5. So what goes in the blanks here?
5 times 1 10 equals 3 tens.
What is 5 times 1?
5 times 1 equals 5.
Good. So 5 times 1 10 equals 5 tens. Just this part that we're multiplying. We'll get to those 3 later. Right now, we're just multiplying. That's the first step, is just to multiply. Sahanasri, could you unmute yourself now? Excellent. Sahanasri, now we're going to add the extra tens that had to be regrouped from the ones place. So we're going to take those 5 tens from before, and how many more do we add? How many did we regroup?
We'd add 3 more tens.
Good. So what's our total amount in the tens place?
8.
Excellent. 8 tens. So up here, we put an 8 in the tens place. We multiply, then we add. Make sure you multiply, then add. Don't put these together before you multiply. So what's our final answer? Sahanasri?
$80.
80 is correct. Excellent. Okay. So over here, we've got another one with just 2 digits. I am going to remove this page from what you're going to do. I'm going to shorten what you'll do in Bright Thinker. If you'd like to go ahead and try these as well, you can, where it's the 3-digit numbers. But I think that it would be better for us to slow it down a little bit. So I'm going to have us stop at page 130 for your workbook pages. You'll do the exact same steps here on page 129. You multiply the ones, and then you'll multiply the tens. In this case, though, if 8 times 4 is 32, you'll be able to put that whole thing in the tens place. So let's actually go ahead, and I want you to try this out on your own, and we'll go over the answer, and then you'll just have 1 page to do for independent practice. I think we need to slow down a little bit more. So please work on this right now, and then we're going to go over the answer. Just take a couple minutes to solve 82 times 4. And I'm going to adjust the pages in Bright Thinker because I think we need to go a little slower. Okay, and click raise hand as soon as you're done with this page. All right, it's going a little bit longer than usual for math today, but you guys are doing a good job. Let's take time to finish this, and then we'll go over the answer. Okay. Again, raise your hand, click raise hand when you're done, and then we'll go over the answer. Harika, sweetheart, please keep your camera on. I need to make sure that you're doing the work with us, sweetheart. Thank you. How's it going with you, Harika? Okay, good. Emma, how's it going with you? Okay, thanks for your honesty with that. Look at the page before it and try to follow those same steps. Arsha, please keep your camera on the entire class period. Thank you so much. Okay. Again, click raise hand when you are finished. You guys are doing a good job. This is the hardest concept we have gotten to in multiplication. So if you are still confused, it's okay. We've got the next couple days this week that we'll continue working on this, as well as even next week. Okay. Looks like most of you are about done now. Ben, could you tell us what we're going to do for step 1?
For step 1, we're gonna...
What will go in the blanks?
2.
4 times 2, that's right, we're multiplying the ones, which equals how many ones?
10.
What's 4 times 2?
10.
It's the same
8.
as 4 plus 4, 8, you got it. Okay. Alexander, next we multiply the tens by 4. So 4 times how many tens?
8.
Equals how many tens? 4 times 8 is?
3.
What does 4 times 8 equal? You can just tell me that.
30, I think.
30. Good job, Emma. 32, exactly.
Oh, yeah, I said that. All right.
Okay.
32.
Now we're going to regroup the tens. Even though we could actually just write that whole number 32 because we're not regrouping into another place value. We can just write that whole number 32.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as what we write here, we regroup the tens as 32 tens equals 300s and
200. 2 tens.
Good. So the whole thing is 328.
I got confused there.
Yeah, I think that is a little bit confusing, but it's just helping you to see that we are moving into the hundreds place. But when we solve it like this, we can just write 32. We don't have to regroup. We can just write 32 since there's not another number that we're multiplying. Okay, So you'll have just one problem to do on page 130. That one page is one problem. If you would like to continue practicing some, moving on to some 3-digit numbers, you can do pages 131 through 134. Okay, those are going to be optional. 131 to 134. With all of those, you're still just going to regroup one time, but it's with 3-digit numbers. Okay, let me see thumbs up if you're feeling pretty good about this multiplication with regrouping. I'd guess that if you know your math facts well, you feel pretty good about it. Sideways, if this seems like you are getting some of the answers, but not all of them. And down if you are really confused by this. All right. I will post an extra support video to help you through some problems like this. That is going to be optional. I know some of you all have done this before even. You know, like Alina and Ariane, Samhita, maybe some others as well have done these kind of problems before. And so you don't need extra support. You're ready to keep moving forward to harder problems. So that's excellent. But for everybody else, I know this takes a little bit of time to really get to know. And if you don't know your math facts well, it's going to be really tough. You need to continue practicing your math facts every single day. Because if you don't know that 4 times 8 equals 32, for example, you might do the steps correctly, but you're going to get the wrong answer. Okay? So make sure you are practicing those math facts every day. Okay, thank you all for persevering. Give yourself a pat on the back. You guys persevered for a longer than usual math time today. And we will continue practicing this concept, and I will post some extra videos for you all so that hopefully you feel so confident